Yeah. All right, we're live. Um, Happy Friday to everybody. I want to send out a shout out to my boy CJ. He was supposed to be on the show. Unfortunately, he going through some things. But if he looking at this, man, I love you, bro. I hope things are going well. I'm gonna hit you up. Make sure things are good with you. I understand what you're going through. I won't indulge what he's going through, but no, just have my man in his your prayers. That's all I can say. So here's we're here. We're gonna be talking about the Devin Haney Ryan Garcia fight. Is my cousin Jason, uh, boxing enthusiast. I'm gonna let Jason talk, but I'm gonna introduce him a little bit. He's one of the he's the only person I know. I keep telling people this, but they don't believe me that he called the Crawford Spence fight exactly the way it was gonna play out. So to prove how smart my cousin is, which I know he's very smart with boxing, we're gonna be doing fight predictions going forward. He's gonna, as he say, he loves to get you into the X and O's. But I'm gonna introduce him. We're gonna break down the fight. We're gonna talk a little bit about a few things before we get into the prediction of it. But Jason, just go ahead and take it from here.
Yeah, man. Well, first and foremost, shout out to CJ, man. Um, yeah, I'm Jason Herndon, boxing fan for life, man. I've been watching the sport since yay high. Love the game. Watch every big fight. Watch moderate level fights, and I'm just like, I'm excited for this one, man. Like this is the big deal. It's the big fight. This is what we asked for, and yeah, let's get it on, man. I'm excited.
Let's get it on. So we're gonna hit on a few things before we get to the prediction with that fight. So let's talk about Boots signing with Eddie Hearns in the zone. What do you feel about that?
I, I think I think Boots wants an opportunity, man. I think Boots has shown that he has the goods. I think Boots has shown that he is willing to step in with the biggest names, and he hasn't gotten a lot of traction. So when you do that, and you've called out all the big names, you used all the resources you have, and you don't get where you want,
Hmm.
yeah, now it's time to call in some of those big guns. If I can't do it, maybe we can do it on the business end.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know how many names Hearn has, but I do know he's a wheeler and dealer. I do know he knows his way around the industry in a way
Right.
where he might be able to pull a string that social media can't. He might be able to pull a string that Boots hasn't been able to do up to this point. So I'm not mad at anybody who exhausts all their resources, tries every opportunity that they can to get
Hmm.
the price they want, and then turns to a promoter. I think it's just a sign of the times. Like he's
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, Eddie. The only person Eddie has at welterweight is Connor Van. I think that's the
right.
only name welterweight. But I guess you never know with that Middle Eastern money. You never know what may happen, what type of thing it can go on. But yeah, that is interesting. What about the let's go to another topic really quick. What about Katie Taylor, Mira Serrano, the rematch? How do
Well,
you feel? How do you
that
feel
was
about it?
one of the more exciting women's fights I've seen in a long time. Like I felt like, especially skill wise, they have different skill sets,
Hmm.
but they're both very skilled in what they do. And it was close. It was a nail biter the whole way through.
Yeah,
So
it
yeah,
was.
I enjoyed that fight. I'd like to see five of them if I could. Like those two women go at it and they don't hold anything back. Um, Being American, I can't say I'm gonna be in Katie's corner, but I mean, but
For real, for real.
yeah,
That's
but at the same time, skill set wise, I feel like she's been doing this for a long time. Like she's been doing
true,
this for a long time, and has been of late has been in some wars. So
true.
I don't know if that's gonna catch up. I know she's very technically sound. She's more technically sound um, in the bout, but that power is an equalizer, and she avoided it the first time.
Yeah, she
I
did.
don't I don't know if this mileage is gonna catch up. Like she's
But
been in it.
what about I know Amanda has not been in the wars, but she's starting to show some of her age a little bit. Uh, yeah,
Yeah. And neither
she's
one of
starting
them
to
are new in the game. Neither one of them is
exactly,
experienced at all.
exactly.
Neither one of them. I think especially when age comes about, like Amanda was knocking people out left and right.
Hmm.
Um, power, they say, is the last thing to leave, you know?
Sure.
And the technique that Katie has could be real solid, but once you start losing a step, all it takes is a millisecond here, a millisecond there,
That's true. That's
and now
true.
you cut. You know, you got to
And
be,
you know what?
perfect technically for a whole
And
fight.
maybe this will be a good thing because both of them have slowed down, and so it'll be a good thing. I know one thing: they're gonna make a lot of money because
Oh,
it's gonna be it's about to be it's gonna be on Netflix. They're gonna make a lot of money.
come on. And
Yeah.
for a fan-friendly fight, like for boxing fan, I don't care, men, women. If you're looking for a fan-friendly fight, like
Yeah, I
these
hope
two
it's
are
like I hope it's
great.
like the first
They-
one. Yeah, if it's
Come
like the
on,
first one,
man.
that'll be a great thing.
I couldn't go to the bathroom. I couldn't get up.
No, I know. We was on the phone. We was on the phone watching it.
I remember, man. I remember that was a good one.
Yeah. What about another topic? A lot of people are talking about Inoue. I saw that, all respect to Sean Porter. What do you believe when Sean was saying for him to be a star, he needs to fight in America? Even though he's fought in the States twice. I know it was during the COVID era. And he fought, I think, when he was doing the tournament, not the Super Six, but I forgot the tournament that he was in that he fought Jornier. He also was abroad. So I think he's left home, if I'm not mistaken. Anybody can correct me. I think either 4 or 5 times. So it's not like he hasn't not been on the road, but he's about to fill up a stadium of 55,000. This is like, what reason would he?
Yeah,
there's no lower weight guy in America that's gonna draw him to be like from a financial. Everybody's going to see him now. It's not the opposite way. But what do you think when Sean says that, or what is your viewpoint? Not just with Inoue, but just in general.
Yeah, respect to Sean. Respect to Sean. He's been in the game a long time, knows the game really well. I think that Inoue's doing things differently. We hadn't seen anybody come out of Japan and take over the game like this in a long time. I think people have been comparing him, and not necessarily style wise. I think just because of geography, they've been comparing him to Manny Pacquiao, just in terms of a meteoric star who came in, took over the game immediately, and Manny came here. You know what I mean? But anyway, it's different. Like Japan is a different country than the Philippines.
Yeah.
Inoue didn't have to come here to train. He didn't have to come here to find a trainer. He didn't have to come here to find a belt. Like he has a different route, and I feel like people want that accessibility. So we say if you don't do this, you can't be the biggest star. But ain't nobody at those lower weights bigger than him. If you tell me a lower weight dude, so who's the star then? If it ain't Inoue, who's the star? I don't know.
He the money man. It'd have been different if it was like, of course he didn't come around, and I don't think Nito Jornier, even when in his prime was big, but if he was here in the States, then maybe that'd be a little bit. If it was a prime Jornier, it was a little bit of different. Or if that's it, I can't really think of any lower weight class guys that were stars, even Americans.
I mean, one of my favorite fighters of all time is Chocolatito. I feel like he's one of the most skilled fighters in history. Yeah. Come on, he brought everything you could ever want in a boxer.
And their timeline just didn't. Timeline kind of matched up, but then just kind of, because I think Inoue was at his weight class, but for only 2 fights, and then he just jumped up.
Right. Yeah, and then, like, out of respect for the legend, of course, but I was saying that Chocolatito wasn't even a star. Chocolatito is nowhere close to what Inoue is.
Right, that's true.
You know what I mean? And this is a legendary Hall of Fame caliber dude. Yeah, and he's not even close to a star. He came to America whenever you asked him to. So it's like, I don't know what he could really benefit. I don't know too many fighters here selling out 55,000. Just because we're not seeing them in the Washington Post does not mean he's not a star. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. This is not the 80s or even the 90s anymore. You don't have to come to America. I mean, it's cool, but there ain't nobody gonna force his hand. And by the time that somebody emerge, he's probably gonna be out the game.
And come on, we had like Cool Boy was our chance. You know what I mean? Like and then the thing is, he crossed the street, and I mean, he got career money to go over there, and I'm not mad at him. Yeah, so any of the guys that want to see him, they're gonna have to go to Japan. He's absolutely
not. Yeah,
he's the man down there
right now. He's the man. Now, if he was a 135 pounder, then maybe it'd be a little bit different. He can meet Tank, but he's not 135 pounder. And
Right.
just I want to dismiss anybody who think they should fight at 130. Tank is too big for him, and Tank can't make a 130. But he's just too,
for
just too
sure,
big
for sure. And I don't even. Yeah, I think Tank is on his way up. I think even when I saw Tank at 130, he never belonged there. Like
Right.
Tank should have always been a bigger dude. He fought bigger dudes in sparring, so it's like
Exactly.
those two don't. I can't see those two as a match. I think
Nope.
that in boxing we've been the epicenter forever. In
Exactly.
boxing, America has been the epicenter for years, and now you get, the Euros and the Brits coming in. They got something to say. You got the Mexicans; they got something to say, and people are showing that you can be from the Australians. Like places are coming in saying, we don't need your American training.
Exactly.
We don't need to watch Rocky. Like we got our own trainers here. we could bring our own heat. We can show you that what we bring on the table to the table is just as valid as what you guys do. And I look forward to that, man. I really love seeing those clashes of style. I hope he doesn't come over here because I don't want him to get influenced by America or try to get an American trainer. I want him to keep that specific spicy.
Doesn't his father train him?
Yeah.
I don't. I don't think they're change anything. But I think the pandemic part and then Top Rank not really doing it, keeping him active. But a lot of fighters wasn't active. He's a star. He's it's nothing for him to come over here unless he just decides to say, I want to fight in Vegas. I think he fought in Vegas, maybe one of the lower room, but he's selling out 55,000. Like it's a wrap. If you ain't seen him when he was here, you're gonna have to go overseas.
You missed it, man.
Exactly. The 2 times that he fought here, I mean, it's just not gonna happen. The only way it probably could have happened if Stevie would have beat him.
Right.
And then maybe they would have rematched in the States or something like that. But that ain't happening. The money that Fulton made, they're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go see that young man.
Everybody's willing to go over there. Every fighter is gonna be willing to go over there for that Japanese bag. Like
exactly. Because I'm not saying Stevie was. I'm not saying that I didn't think Stevie would fight him. But when he decided to go over there and how quick it was just done. And it was like he's traveling. I was just like, yeah, he made a career amount of money. And PBC always pay their dues well. So for him to cross the street, it must have been a significant amount of money. You're probably going to see him fight in the Middle East before you see him fight in the States again. So,
I can see him because he's interesting. When you talk about the top 5 boxers that you hear mentioned right now, that's why I think it's short-sighted to say he's not a star. Because when you talk about the top fighters, anyways in that top 5, and not even from a skill set wise, just who has the people's ear right now.
You're right, because I know that fight against Stevie Fulton that was, and I don't know what our time, like 4:30 in the morning. A lot of people were up.
Come on, we saw it, man. We saw it. It was brutal, man. It was a brutal fight.
A lot of people was up. He is must see TV. But let's get right into it for the people who have joined us. Let's talk about the Ryan and David Haney and Ryan Garcia fight. First thing I want to get on is Ryan not making the weight. Do you think that's a factor? Do you think it's a ploy? Do you think he already kind of knew? Because to me, I think last week I already saw it. I didn't think he was going to make the weight. But I don't know if he's doing this on purpose or is it just a level of maybe unprofessionalism?
Yeah, I mean, my expectation is for boxers to make weight. You sign a contract, make weight. Like that's what I expect as a fan. When I go to work, I'm expected to do my craft, at least come into the building prepared, and he's not. So that's disappointing. I don't think it's a ploy, but I think it's a reflection on his attention to detail in this camp. Like, these are conversations you have not the day before, the week before, 2 weeks before. Like, you're having these conversations. You're aware. Like, you're locked into that weight the whole journey. That's part of what the training camp is. If you don't make weight, there doesn't have to be a fight. So that's the first fight that you have before you even get into the ring is with that scale. And the fact that he's neglecting it, he's not even close. Like, it makes me think about the impact that the training camp is having on him and how dedicated he's been to the details versus, the press tour.
Yeah, he's been really into the press tour. That's another thing. Do you think his behavior is once again something that's calculated, or I don't want to question his mental health, but just his behavior? Do you think this is a ploy, or I'll
Um,
just say something else?
yeah, I don't know the man. I'm not so, but for me personally, um, yeah, he's saying some wild things. It's one thing to say somebody like we talked many times about Carlos Mayorga. Like
Right.
Carlos Mayorga was that dude. Like he was
Right.
that dude. Lights on, lights off. That's Carlos Mayorga. Um, this he's wavering so much. He's going from a very pious and very quiet, religious guy, God-fearing guy, to reckless in the same conversation. Like it's not like he came back 2 days later. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, I think the boxing fan in me wants to see him perform on that night. So I want to say I'm hoping that it's a ploy. I'm hoping that this is a calculated measure
Right.
to say I want him to think that I'm unhinged. I want him to think that I'm unpredictable and that he has to be concerned about what I bring to the table on fight night.
Okay.
The boxing fan in me wants to believe that. Um, I don't know. He's a young guy too. You got to remember Ryan Garcia is not a grizzled veteran. Like,
Yeah, like Bernard Hopkins
come
or
on,
yeah, and he
Canelo even. Like, yeah, we get these
right,
guys who
right, right. Or
like this
I
is
think the last time a fighter kind of did something like this that was calculated when Ali did the thing with Sonny Liston, but we're talking what 60 years ago or something like that
yeah,
happened. And Ryan has never shown, and even the miss weight thing. I think the last high profile fighters when Floyd fought Juan Marquez, but I
mm,
thought that he already knew I wasn't going to make this weight. And Floyd,
yeah,
well, we all know Floyd is a professional.
right,
Ryan hasn't really exhibited any of that, and it's not like Ryan is the naturally bigger man per se, and he's like coming down in weight. And then, okay, we know it's a calculation thing. He
yeah,
fought at 140 his last fight, and I agree. Why couldn't he make the weight this time? All
yeah.
right,
And I think we talk often about you have to stay in your craft. You have to
yeah,
stay active. Like it said something to have a year off and then want to get back into a fight. Like that's not easy. Not many people can go to work, come back a year later, and then come to work again. Like that's not an easy transition. I don't know how his sparring's going, but it's like having that dedication is honed over camp after camp after camp.
no, you're right. And the last big fight he had, where he had an opportunity to have a fight before that to stay sharp, he elected not to when he fought Tank. Whereas
Yeah,
Tank actually fought a very dangerous and capable fighter before
yeah,
he fought Ryan. So you can see one guy more into his craft, and another guy you starting to question, does he have like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. tendencies? Which would be a shame because I think Ryan's a really talented fighter. Like
yeah.
he has a lot of talent. So besides that, well, let's just break down. Let's get into it as you always call it, the X's and O's of it. How do you think this is going to play out? What is it that you're looking for? We're going to just stick strictly as a fight fan. If both fighters are at their best, how do you think it's going to play out?
Yeah. So when I look at the game, I'm looking at three levels. I'm looking at outside, mid range, inside game. Neither one of these dudes is really inside fighters. Um, I think Ryan has an advantage in the mid range game just because of how committed he is to his power. Like Ryan wants to get you out of here. Forget everything else he said during this press tour. Ryan is trying to crack you, and I think both of them know that. So he commits to that. I think he has a clear edge when it comes to power. Some people thought that the Regis Prograis fight showed that Devin has a renewed power. I don't subscribe to that. Like I don't believe it. But I think Ryan has a power edge in the mid range and outside. I feel like Devin just has the better feet.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think that It's going to take some time, but I really believe, that Devin going through fight after fight after fight, I think that he's going to be more prepared for the stage. I think that he's going to be more prepared to show what he needs to do and to stick to a game plan with dedication than what Ryan is. I think Ryan is going to need to lure Devin into traps in a way that I haven't seen him do at the elite level yet. I haven't seen Ryan setting elite level traps. He'll take advantage if you make a mistake,
Right.
but Devin knows Devin is not a power puncher, and he knows that. So he's not trying to lunge in and throw heavy bombs. He's very, very thoughtful when it comes to the punches that he throws. He's very thoughtful when it comes to what he wants to get off and win. Um, Footwork wise, I feel like Devin has an advantage. I feel like Devin is not the most exciting fighter. He's not, in terms of like a knockdown, drag out brawl. Devin is not your guy.
No, he hasn't showed that. I mean,
Yeah,
he's probably the most exciting he's been was the last fight, but
and I feel like he just had clear, like, you
advantages.
put a fight on footwork alone, like,
Yeah,
and I say
he had a lot of advantages against Regis
for
Prograis.
sure, for
Faster,
sure.
longer. I mean, I'm not gonna say he hits harder, but he was definitely more physically stronger. But yeah, I agree with that. But continue. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, so I feel like Devin is just gonna. I feel like I don't know if Devin's gonna have enough advantages to style on him like he did versus Devin. I mean versus Regis.
Hmm.
Devin was able to do some things we hadn't seen him do in a long time versus Regis because Regis couldn't get his feet out the mud.
That's true.
Um, Ryan, for whatever we say about him being off his square, Ryan knows the game, and he's an athletic young dude. So he's not just gonna stand there. He's not waiting for a big shot, feet in the mud. Like he moves.
Yes, he does.
And I don't, by no means do I feel like this is gonna be a blowout, a wash, unless Ryan is not who we've known him to be. Um, I think Ryan stands a shot. Like I would not be surprised by Ryan landing a big shot in this fight that changes things at
I
all.
agree.
I expect it, honestly, to be honest, because I think that Devin's going to start to get comfortable. Devin has his routine. I think he's going to start to get comfortable, and I think Ryan's hand speed is not a rumor. It's lightning quick, you know,
It is.
and
Yeah.
he commits to his punches. It's almost like I've seen Ryan throw his head. I've seen him have his eyes closed when he throws punches. I've seen him throw his head all the way to the back when he throws punches. It's like
Yeah.
Ryan is throwing this punch like a child is trying to kill somebody. Like if you
Yes, he
say,
is.
try to kill this man with one punch, he's putting everything in him into a punch. And
And people are forgetting something me and you talked about, which
yeah,
you pointed out to me is that, and this we're not being I'm not being disrespectful to Devin Haney at all.
uh,
It's just that the people he have fought has been slower, older, and
yeah,
shorter.
for sure.
And now he's about to fight a guy against that's younger. I don't even know. He may be longer than Haney or equal to his length. And also very fast hands. And I agree. He has legit power. Like I'm not gonna say he has Tank Davis power, but if you go back and look at the first fight with Tank, Tank was very, very aware that
For
this guy
sure.
can punch. He can punch.
Yeah.
And so I do love Devin. I would not call Devin a defensive savant. He's not, he's not in like Shakur's level in that area.
Right.
Usually he just steps back because he has so much length.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting. It'd be interesting if he hurts him. If he hurts Haney somewhere very early in the fight, and he can draw him into a fight.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the one thing I want to see, the one thing I was looking forward to most when he signed with Derek James is he has a tendency to jab and come up. I'm jabbing and I'm coming up.
Right.
And I want you to jab and put your head down and go through his chest. I want you
Yeah.
to because he has a lethal hook at
Yeah.
in any place at any time. It doesn't need to be a standstill
No, it
picturesque hook
doesn't.
outside. He could throw a hook anytime, hit you in your body, hit you in your shoulder, hit you in your temple, anywhere. Like, just put your head down and keep working. That's what I want to see out of him. The main thing that I've seen him turn up at times. I've seen him go in, but I don't want him to hit the standstill combination. I want him to try to put your back through the ropes and just bang. You know what I mean? And what happens because Devin, for all his technical skill, he gets uncomfortable on the inside.
Yes, he got uncomfortable against Lomachenko, who's a shorter, smaller guy.
Got uncomfortable versus JoJo Diaz.
Yeah,
like,
got uncomfortable against JoJo Diaz. It's too bad that Derek. I mean, it's something you bring back when you talk about the details of not having at least. I mean, when you look at a year, he didn't have an injury of any kind. That he should have had maybe two more additional fights under Derek Chains by this time. Probably would have prepared him a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. I think both of them should have fought a taller fighter before they fought each other. Both of them.
Well, hasn't I mean, how tall is Luke Campbell?
Luke Campbell's tall. He's not
Devin like though, but he is a tall guy.
I think he might have been taller. I think the dynamic between him and Devin is very different.
Right.
I think when you talk about a classic tune-up fight, you get somebody in the style of the person who you're fighting, so you can kind of see. I mean, you get that inspiring, but you want a real scrap. I want somebody who brings your strengths to the table, as close as I can approximate them. So that I've been training for and against this for months. For 6-8 months, I've been training for this style. That's what you look for. And I think that, neither one of them has done it. I think Devin's been locked in the gym. We'll see with Ryan, man. Because Derek could have, on paper, what Derek James brings to the table is exactly what Ryan needs.
Elaborate.
I feel like Ryan is a flashy guy in spots. I feel like what you want from a fighter is a dog. You want that technical craft that Ryan has. But what sets fighters apart a lot of times is that dog. Is that this man's willing to work in the fire. He's not willing to just wait for the fire to come to him. He'll go to it. Derek James trains fighters to get in there. It's a fight. And I mean, you're going to have the technical skill to fight, but you're not going to be bouncing around on the outside. Like, it's a fight. And that activity level was why he gets caught versus Luke Campbell. It's what kind of separated him versus Tank. Like, he gave Tank long openings to set up his traps. If you're active, Tank doesn't have the opportunity to set up these traps.
That's true.
But he's not the most active fighter. He's not bringing the smoke throughout 3 minutes around. And that's what you want to see from him. You want to see it because skill set, he has what it takes to beat them. He's not somebody who can't win this fight. He could win. I just think that I haven't seen him turn up to the level where he's going to make Devin uncomfortable for a majority of the fight to get a decision.
That's true.
So,
even in the Luke Campbell fight, he just turned it around from a shot, not necessarily the overall momentum of the fight.
Yeah, and he's susceptible. I think both of them have been susceptible to looping shots. Both of them. They've both been the bigger fighter, and if I'm looking for any one punch, it's a looping shot from either. I don't feel like Devin's the most powerful dude. I've seen him throw some looping shots from time to time. And Ryan is a pretty traditional fighter with the shots. But I do think that if they can let loose with a looping shot, both of them are used to being tall enough so that they don't have to avoid something coming from high. A looping shot could be punishing. Especially for Ryan. If Ryan throws a looping shot and catches Devin on the way out or catches Devin trying to get off the ropes, that's a fight changer. Like, he has fight-changing power.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
So if you was training Devin, if you're Devin's trainer, what would be the keys for you for his victory?
Footwork. You 100% footwork. You win this fight with your feet. You know your punches. Devin has every punch in his arsenal, and he knows when to throw his punches. Like, I'm not making this a sexy fight if I'm Brian. If I'm Devin, pardon me. I'm keeping the distance, not getting smothered. I'm not letting the fans get to me. Ryan says he's this banger. Ryan wants to be Scarface. Okay, Ryan, you know what I mean? If that's who you want to be Tony. You be Tony over here. You got to come over here and bring that. I'm not that. I'm a boxer.
So you basically want Devin to box and be himself.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that Ryan gives you openings. Like Ryan will make mistakes. He's not perfect.
Nah, he does.
Yeah, and I think because he's so committed to his power, come around 5, 6, 7, he's gonna start like diving in. He's gonna want those big shots. Ryan's gonna want to change things. If Devin uses his formula and jabs his way through the first 4 rounds, by round 5, I don't care what Derek James says. Ryan's gonna say, "I need to change this fight," and he's gonna open the door for you. You know what I mean? And once he start getting sloppy, once he start getting desperate, like that's a boxer's dream. Like, I mean, it's dangerous, but you're gonna make mistakes where there's gonna be openings to capitalize on. So I feel like Devin's gonna be able to see come round 5, 6, 7. As long as he hasn't been hurt up until that point, I feel like he'll be able to see where Ryan is pressing.
Now, me and you talked about when he fought Regis. Do you believe? Now, I haven't heard his father. I haven't really heard them speak the game plan. I don't really care when fighters do say that because sometimes they're just doing the art of war, saying one thing. But they did say they was going to come after him. Do you believe that maybe, and I don't know if it's the case, do you believe maybe he, because of what happened there, that he goes out of character a little bit? And that he may try to attack as opposed to box?
I don't know. You know, I think it's funny because I've said many times, I don't care about your press conferences. I don't care about what your interviews. I don't care about it. But I remember post-fight with Regis, when Regis was like, "Man, you fucked me up." And the Kool-Aid smile that Devin had.
Right.
How excited he got by hearing that.
Right.
Like, see it visibly. Like, whereas other fighters will move on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Caleb was talking about Canelo all fight. Granted, I don't know how much Canelo understood, but but it's like this dude got visibly excited by hearing, "Oh, you really can bang. Oh, you like." So I feel like there is an ego thing there with him. And Devin is the type of fighter who, if you show that you can't defend the shot, if you show me that you're not going to move your feet in this space, he'll put weight behind it. But you just got to show him that you're not going to do it. Like, if you show that you're not going to fight it, then he'll throw it 100% of the time. And I think that once he gets comfortable, he'll give you this feint 3, 4 times. If you don't react to the feint, he's coming with it. Because, like, that's his way of setting up traps. He's not gonna do it in the first, second, third round. He's gonna say, "I'm baiting you with this right hand."
Right.
Now, if you don't respect it and you don't move out the way, then I'm coming with my version of heat. He ain't no big banger, but
nah, he isn't.
He's gonna throw what he has. So I think that, especially as he's getting more acclaim and he wants to have a bigger space in the boxing world. I think he does have that pressure of putting on performances. Like, we see how people are talking about Shakur, and I'm a big Shakur fan. But it's like if you put on a show that's less than exciting, like, the world's gonna let you know. They'll forget about the last ones.
Yeah, I don't know if the tickets for this fight is selling that well. At least I haven't heard anything about it selling that well. It probably do better by the time they get to the fight. They're probably discounted.
Hopefully, I don't know what happened. This weight thing might be a ploy to get away from them ticket sales.
I think the promotion has been, but I think from the business side, whoever was handling it, they haven't really did a good job. There hasn't been any really ads, no promotion for it. Hey, I don't even know who's fighting on the undercard, honestly, because
Yeah,
I think they
that's
just
supposed to
announced
be.
it last week, and I'm like, yeah. But like you said, Devin had to perform. Okay, so
And
if
let me take
you,
the flip side. Let me take the flip side. If I'm Ryan's trainer,
I was just about to ask you that.
pardon me, pardon me.
No,
I'm
no,
a
no.
bit.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, yes. And if I'm Ryan's trainer, I want you in his chest. Like 100%. Devin has better feet than you. What makes Devin special is not he has crazy long arms, so he's humongous for a lightweight.
Yeah,
Super
yes.
welter, even super lightweight. Junior welter. He's a big guy. Um, he's used that to his advantage. Like you said, they're similar heights right now. So I want Ryan to take away that length. Um, Devin's superpower is his feet. Like he dictates the fight based on where he wants to be. The reason why Loma at 5'4", 5'5" could dictate how that fight went for long portions is because the proximity. He was so close to him. He got close enough so where he could do damage. Um, Jojo Diaz, same thing. Like you got to take away that footwork from him. And if I'm Derek James, I'm harping on that footwork. Watch what these dudes did to get 2 inches closer. All you need is 2 inches. He wants to escape. If you get too close, he's gonna want to escape. He's not gonna want to bang. He's gonna want to throw one punch so he could get out of there. And you just have to take away that 2 inches. Give me those 2 inches and stay there consistently. Now you win that heat. And when I talk about what Derek James brings to the table, I need you to turn this from an outside fight to a mid-range fight. I don't even need an inside fight. Outside to mid-range. Make this mid-range. Now you got a shot. Now your right hand makes a difference. Now your left hook don't have to go to the head. It could go to the body. Like now you have more options at your disposal, and you're the one who bangs. Devin has a jab. He has a right hand, and he throws his other punches as they come up. I believe his game plan is always 1-2. He can throw nice punches. He can get you off of him. He has a in case of fire break glass, throw the body shot with Loma or get on your bike versus JoJo. But he's a 1-2 fighter when it comes to the game plan. And it's like you got to make him want to break that glass. You got to make him feel like, all right, it's
Make him a
time to
little
break
bit
the
yeah,
glass.
make him a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, if we could
Yeah,
draw him into a fight, it could be interesting.
and I
Uh
like I saw him be unsure when he went back to his dad. Like, Dad, he sees the right hand coming. He sees it. What
yeah.
what do we do now? You know what I mean? So it's like those are human moments, but you can fluster him if you get inside that footwork. His superpower is his footwork. If you can get inside of that footwork,
Yeah.
you got a chance.
So you like Ryan's chances much better because a lot of people are just basically thinking this is going to be a one-sided beat down. They're saying that he's overweight. He's totally unprofessional. I'm more like I really don't know. He doesn't look like out of shape. He just doesn't look like he was gonna make 140 to me. It's just
140
like
at all.
it looked like he already knew he wasn't gonna make 140. It was just like I'm not gonna try to kill myself. Which
Yeah, when you miss about 4 pounds, that says something.
yeah, so I think he already knew this like for a long time. I guess we'll find out the night of the fight. If he clips and knock David Haney out, then no one's gonna talk about it. Except they'll probably talk about him having the extra weight.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, so you talked about now. What are you mentioned the X and O's of it? We don't do press conferences here because you just straight to it. So prediction, not only how because he's this good. I don't want to put him on blast. Not only how who wins, but how do you think they will win? And so what we're gonna do is without because normally people just make straight picks. Tell me how Devin wins and how it will happen, and tell me how Ryan will win and how it could happen, and then give your prediction.
Yeah, I don't see any world where Devin wins by knockout. Like I just don't believe his power. So if Devin wins, he wins by 12-round decision. Um, yeah, I just don't feel like, and I feel like he has the skill set to win by a 12-round decision. I feel like that's what should happen. That's what the odds makers are saying is going to happen. I feel like boxing followers, people who watch the sport, think Devin has enough skill to beat Ryan in a 12-round fight. I think, on the flip side, Ryan has a chance to make this a fight that's in his advantage. I feel like he's fortunate. He's catching him at the right time where he's one of the first taller fighters that he's fought at this elite level. Like, he's one of the first. And they have a history, and we haven't even talked about the fact that they have a history.
Oh, we can, before we do the prediction, we can go back there. Yeah, if you want to. You want to revisit that? Because they have fought 6 times. I think they split 3-3. So there's a familiarity there. Like, there isn't, like...
I don't need to go touch on it longer because it's not a ton of tape that I've seen. And they've changed as professionals. But the fact that they've had that history, I think that there's going to be a comfort level from moment one. Like, the world may not have this tape. I got the tape. I was there. I know what happened when I fought you. So I feel like Ryan has always and will have the power advantage come fight night. And not only that, but I know what I did to beat you. And really all you have to beat is if you can beat his feet, if you can beat Devin's feet, you have a good chance of winning the fight. That's hard. That's not an easy task. But if you can beat his feet, like, all it takes is one shot at that point. If you beat his fight, Devin starts leaving out with his head up. Devin starts getting into uncharacteristic, combinations. He don't even throw. Like, you can just make him uncomfortable and then punish him. If Ryan wins, it's gonna be by one big shot and then getting him out of there. I don't think he could one punch KO him, maybe with a body shot, but I think it'll be one big shot and then just like punishing him after that.
So it'd be kind of similar to what Linares did, but sooner. Because Linares couldn't sustain it. Like, he did hurt him. Next round, he tried to get to him, but like you said, he couldn't get to him.
Similar to that, for sure. Yeah, I think it'll be you make him do things that you make him feel like he can't get away from you. You make him feel like he has to do something. You have to stay in this heat. Like, for the first 2 minutes of the fight, I'd like for Ryan almost not to throw a punch. Just stay in this man's chest and don't move. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to make sure that
that's a good strategy.
You know what I mean? And it's not throw a punch. Obviously, throw some punches, but I want you to stay in this.
Nothing meaningful just yet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just show that you can't get away. I got the game plan, and you can't get away.
Because that's a good way of putting mental pressure on someone. That's a good way to put mental pressure, because that is something that he relies on. I always said to people, I think he's a really good fighter. He's a well-rounded fighter. I've always thought defense is not his greatest attribute. Not saying he's a Toro Gotti, but he's always gotten out of danger with his feet, as opposed to if he's right in front of you, he's not going to slip. His reflexes defensively is not. There are moments even in the Regis fight where Regis was just too slow. He couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, and Regis is such a standstill fighter. Regis wants to get inside the phone booth. Mm-hmm. Let's bang it out. And
Devin's not gonna do that.
It was a terrible matchup, man.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, it was a bad matchup. You don't have really good feet. You have to plant.
Yeah,
I just really, I didn't like the matchup going in, and I'm like, Regis is heavy-handed, but he's not quick twitchy. He doesn't take. I mean, he's knocked guys out with one shot, but it usually still was accumulation build up. And I was like, this is a bit. But this fight, I agree with you. I do like Devin's chances. I think he has less, like you said, this whole behavior is real and he's just mentally somewhere else. But I do think he has a real good chance. I've told people, I was like, I don't really, all this stuff that's going on, I'm with you. It really doesn't matter. Because you got to fight. We have to fight. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we're fighting anyway. So whatever he's saying or whatever, so. And
this dude knows I could beat him. Like, y'all could be worried about all this conversation. This dude knows I could beat him.
Yep. It's not like he hasn't beat him before. And I like what Luke Campbell said. He was like, He was like, he was talking about Ryan Garcia. He was like, Ryan has fast hands.
Yeah.
He can hit. He said, I hit him with some shots. And he said he took them. He said he has grit. He said people are underrating him. And I agree. We also got to look at it. Tank beat him, a level of sophistication, but that body shot. And so is Devin gonna bring that? Can he? I've never seen
Loma ate about 500 Devin body shots
exactly
throughout the fight and didn't change his life
it
at all.
didn't change anything. So if Ryan just stays within himself, I agree with all the things that you've said. But if he can catch him early and hurt him seriously, things can change. Things can change.
And, like I've seen one of my, and when I think about Devin, I want to admire a fighter for their strengths, and Devin has been consistent with their strengths.
I see.
But you also have that JoJo Diaz fight, and it was like once JoJo started landing that, I think it was a looping left hook, he just kept landing it, and it didn't stop. There was no game plan change. It was
his defense isn't. I don't want to call him a basic fighter. That's disrespect, but there are things that he does I've seen in every fight, except for the Lomo where he kind of went more to the body. But he's well rounded. He's not slick, and I do agree with you. Ryan has a chance. But the JoJo Diaz, you got to take a little bit from that. You got to take a little bit from the Lomo. But I agree about the feet. That's a big thing. Ryan has the physical tools to be able to do it. Anything else you want to add to this, or another layer of this that we're not looking at?
The only thing that I feel like what could turn the fight is that Ryan, he believes in his power. He believes in his power, but he has to set for his power. Not like Regis. Regis sets just to be ready to defend or do anything.
Right.
Ryan can move. But to throw that power, Ryan wants to sit. He could counter. He could counter, but Devin isn't the greatest to counter against because he doesn't want to be close enough to get countered.
That's true.
So he could counter, but he's not great at exploding into fighters. He's not great at cutting off the ring and making it so you don't have a choice.
True.
So the one thing I'll say is Ryan has to be comfortable. As much as I say get right in his chest, he has to be comfortable with moving in this fight. He can't be static. The one thing we've seen is that if you sit still, Devin's gonna pick you apart. Like if you're not able to move, Devin's just gonna pick you apart. So
you're saying you would want him to fight more off the balls of his feet?
Yeah, and I want him to just dictate. Devin's whole game plan is predicated on dictating the space. 100%. Like if he's the bully of this 20 by 20 ring, if he dictates when y'all fight, he wins. Like that's just the way he fights. So you have to be able to, before you even throw punches, and that's why I say I don't even want you to throw a punch. I want for you to dictate that space with your feet before you even want to commit to your power. Like I want you to find out how you can, because he's a unique puzzle. Like that's a superpower. When I say it's a superpower, I mean it. Like Devin knows how to dictate space better than most fighters in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have to figure that out first before you worry about what punch is going to land. Before you worry about how you can impact this fight in a great way, you have to worry about how you can get inside that airspace. And I think Derek James is a hell of a trainer. I feel like he's been in this game. Ryan's been in this game a long time. Both of them have a lot of experience. And Ryan's been in the ring with them before. So I feel like he's going to have a general idea how to do it.
Do you think he should concentrate more on his right hand and take away his jab?
I think the right hand, for Ryan to be successful, the right hand has to be a meaningful punch.
Yeah, because he kind of throws it as an afterthought. And I think he has a really good right hand. He just seems to lean a lot on his left hand.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just once you see success in a certain space,
mm-hmm.
you stay in that space. You know, I saw success with this left hand, and I just bolstered it up. If I knocked out the last 20 dudes with my left hand,
Yeah,
then I know which punch I'm going to.
yeah,
Nobody
that's good.
argued with Deontay Wilder. They were like, look,
No, you're right. Hey, you know what?
you got what you got.
You know what? That's a good assessment too. Like you said, if he waits, he won't get used to his power. Not to say that you said the Wilder game plan, but I do like that. Whereas just dictate time, because you're right. He does whip that left hand. All of his punches are, but you do that left hand. He can throw it from any type of way. But I agree, he does not. He doesn't throw punches off the bounce or the balls of his feet. He does
Exactly.
set. He does set. And so
Right.
I think I would want him to do less of it, because I don't want Devin to be able to get used to his rhythm and his timing, and then
Yeah.
it becomes this one-sided boxing match.
Right. And when I say, and I'm not just necessarily talking about balls to your feet. I'm talking about go forward. Like, just take away the space. I don't want you standing there at all. Like, throw your jab on your way in. That's what I want. I want you to
I got
cover
you.
up, throw your jab in. Now I'm in your chest. And you have to be, I don't even care if the jab lands. The jab ain't even that important.
You just want
I'm throwing this
everything to
punch
be uncomfortable with the
100%.
geometry of it. Got you.
Yeah, this foot space, this footwork game is not yours. Like, if you go into a fight as a trainer, that's what I'm saying to Ryan. Like, Devin wants to win the footwork battle. Period. That's the only way he wins. Only way. He's not winning with no knockout punch. He's not winning with the counter. He's not winning with his hand speed. He's not winning with his whatever punch he throws. He wins this fight if he wins the footwork battle. So you need to show him I can get inside when I want to. And it's not even about, like I said, landing the meaningful punch immediately. Just get inside his footwork. I need you to get to the mid-range or inside early. Brian's not even an inside fighter, but get there so you can show that you can be there, so you can see what he does when he panics. Because the goal in boxing is not, I want to beat your flaws. Like, I need to see what your flaws are and bring those out. And Devin's flaws are brought out when he's made uncomfortable on that inside. So it doesn't. I don't care how pretty your left hook is. You got to bring the flaws out first. Tank saw his left hook and didn't have no problem with it. You know what I mean? Like, Tank knew it was coming, but he knew it was coming. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He didn't set up a trap. He didn't build it up. He didn't do anything to make Tank uncomfortable from a defensive standpoint. So it wasn't really effective. And I think with Devin, he has to learn, like, you have to make this man uncomfortable first. Like, I don't care how pretty your gun is. If you can't see me, you can't hit me. you know, like, that's it.
No, that's true. That is true. That is true.
You ain't close enough. Like, you got to be close enough first. Once you show you could be close enough, yeah, now the conversation started. Now I get to see you sweat. Now I get to see you nervous. Let's get this thing going.
So that'll reinforce also, if he hurts him, knowing that he can't evade his space. He won't be able to retreat because he knows very. I got you.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah.
The big thing everybody want to know: prediction.
Yeah, man. I got Devin. I got Devin in a decision. The type of pressure that Ryan puts on, I feel like Devin is prepared for. I don't feel like it's a very, from what I've seen, it's not like a very tactical. It's not like a high level chess type pressure. He could put on pressure, but he's coming in straight through the front door. He's coming with a jab. He doesn't even have a long right hand. I mean, he has a long right hand, but he doesn't throw it consistently enough.
Right.
So as much as I want Ryan to take up that airspace, he hasn't shown the tools to do it on a regular basis, or he hasn't shown the will to do it on a regular basis. And because of that, it's like, I want to believe in Ryan. I feel like it's something that could be trained into him for sure. I can't say that I've seen him look like the most locked in fighter, especially coming in 4 pounds overweight. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Come on, you don't.
After we talked last week, I was leaning differently until he did this today, and I was just like, oh, okay, he's not even. I don't know how he. I just don't know. He's made more doubt than anything, but I agree. I think he's live. I don't know how long he is, but I do think he's live. I think if people underestimate him, he's live.
Yeah, I mean, he has a puncher's chance, and Derek James is a hell of a trainer. Like, you can't underestimate the impact that a trainer can have. So I feel like you can't overrate other fighters' losses. Like, Derek James teaches a sport at an elite level, and I think he can make a difference. I think, like, yeah, just seeing that game plan, if he's eating, sleeping, and breathing that game plan day in, day out, and he knows how to take away that foot space, which is something that Errol Spence would have done. You know,
Unfortunately, Errol,
something would have done.
unfortunately, Errol Spence is no longer in Derrick James's table. So, I mean, but he has been sparring with Frank Martin.
Yeah,
Frank is a real cerebral fighter. He's not
he's a little,
Devin.
a little dude though. Know what I mean? Like, he's not that
True,
tall.
he's not a tall guy. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not a
but I
tall
mean, in
guy.
terms of footwork, that can help.
Yeah, that could help.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're gonna see. So, prediction, Devin. You already told how you think it's gonna break down. So you pick Devin. Is it going to be close, or is it going to be close at one point and then he just kind of
I
takes
think
over?
Ryan lands something that's gonna make Devin adjust his game plan.
Okay.
So I do feel like Ryan does have that punch in him. Um, is it going to be enough to get him to win? If Devin don't get up,
Of
but
course.
yeah, like, if he's able to take it, like, Devin's just he's gonna get on his bike after that. Like, 'cause I just feel like the one thing that Devin knows that he does really well, which is that footwork, he does that at an elite level. And Ryan doesn't have that type of thing to neutralize that. Like, a left hook, you need to be close, and
True.
especially if Devin is nervous. We've seen Devin jab for 12 rounds in a row. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, so
Exactly.
if he gets hit, you got to put him out, because if he gets hurt, he's getting on his bike and he's gonna jab you 6 times around, and you're not gonna jab him at all, or 2 times around, and that's
Okay.
gonna be that. So
All right.
yeah, I hope he hits him and hurts him, man.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Well, it was a pleasure. Even though I was the host, I'm letting Jason shine because his knowledge with the game is there. Always about the X's and O's. This was a pleasure. We did this less than an hour, straight on point. More than likely, if my man is not, what I will say, if he's available, we'll do a post fight. Probably not immediately. Maybe we'll jump on for about 15, 20 minutes. But you've heard it here. He's picking Devin Haney. Decision. He's gonna box his way. But still, we both agree. Ryan has a chance. I think people are dismissing his chances a lot because of his antics. But the kid has talent, he has power, he's twitchy. It's just whether or not, like you said, can he apply the game plan? And I
Yeah.
guess we'll find out. We'll find out. So remember the keys of what my cousin said, the 5th round. That would be a major key within the fight. Who knows? I mean, this would be strange. I mean, Ryan could surprise us. He can clip him in the 1st round and then all the stuff we talked about.
But you love saying that.
I mean, because I am. Yeah, because how boxing is. Sometimes dudes, for whatever reason, decide to go off script.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know. Maybe if it was me, I would have but I don't think this is Ryan. I probably would have tried to be more. I probably would have embraced the villain role a little bit more and to
Yeah.
try to see if I can get him to fight. I mean, Regis didn't do anything to get him to fight. But I
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think you need to I think you really need to make him uncomfortable. And we'll see whether or not if Ryan Garcia is capable of doing that. But thank you, everyone. Thanks to my cousin for taking some time out. We would definitely, like I said, we're going to do more shows than this. We're definitely going to be dropping everything with fight predictions. We're going to do big shows and the big fights, and we're going to do the important fights. So it may not be necessarily a pay-per-view fight. What's the next big fight coming up? Is it is it
We got
is it
some on the
is the
horizon.
Inoue? I think Inoue is in 3 weeks, right?
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
think
we're
so.
definitely going to talk about that.
Yeah, well, it's a bunch of them on the horizon, man. I'm so excited
Yeah,
about Better Be at Bevo, man. That's my fight.
that's
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 my fight.
that's the fight. I will be talking a lot more
Come
for
on,
that because that
come on.
is the fight. That's my fight. I've been waiting for that fight forever. But we're
Come
gonna
on, man.
get into that. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that fight. Yeah, that's gonna be a big one. The fight in Saudi Arabia, they got that card looking super stacked, man. Like it's a fun time, man. It's a fun time to be a boxing fan.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can have any complaints right now. I mean,
Come on.
the only one you probably is like, man, I wish Bud had a big fight. Like they, yeah,
But
a great fight.
he ran through the competition.
No, he did. He
He
did.
ran through him.
He finally got all of his entire due. But I would love for him to get one big fight, like another big fight for himself. But you know what? It don't matter if he got a small fight. I'm gonna watch him because he's a great fighter. So I just
Well, you
love
know
him.
who's corner, man. You know we doing all this talking, but you know who my guy is, man.
Oh, you talking TC? Yeah, TC been your guy. Yeah, TC been your guy forever. Yeah, trust me, trust me. He thought he was going after everybody with the smoke when that fight went down. So yeah. Terrence Crawford is a great fighter.
Yeah, for sure.
It's nothing else to say. It is nothing else to say.
Yes.
Let's see what happens. But thank you for everybody for tuning in. We're about to sign out. Y'all have a happy Friday, great weekend. CJ, man, my thoughts and prayers are with you. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. Thanks for joining us in. Peace.